Oh, yes, they are. The thing is, though, the more they fool people, the shorter their scams will work. And that's the good news. We're going to Julio, Jeff, Michael, Tito, and many others. Toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231. Look, we've added a new T-shirt every week the last few months, and I haven't even plugged the actual new T-shirts. These are the newest that just came in yesterday. And my favorite is this one of the new ones. It says Defend Freedom, and it's got an image of a horse with a Minuteman with a bullhorn, and it says Infowars.com under it. Looks like a football or swim team or basketball team workout jersey. We've got that, and there's nothing on the back of this one. Just the classic high school style. And then we've got this shirt with a similar Minuteman on the front. It says Defend Freedom, Join the Resistance, Infowars.com. And on the back it says Infowars.com, Join the Resistance. Great way to meet like-minded people out there. And we've got, I don't know how many T-shirts now. It's got to be approaching 100 different designs, ball caps. We've got the... What do you call the beanies for, like, cold weather, like Jaron's wearing right now that you pull down over your head? What do you call those? What do you call those kind of hats? Watchman cap. We've got those with Tyranny Response Team at Infowars.com. And, yes, all of your purchases make this radio show possible. We're not like the Defense Department that takes your tax money and then uses it in propaganda against you. We're here being funded by your support. So be sure and visit the online video bookstore / apparel store at Infowars.com today. Okay. Mike Rivero, again, is our guest right now. And I want to go over some Twitter questions for you, Mike, briefly, and then I want to go back to the calls. It says, hey, Alex, my question, this is from our new Twitter account, twitter.com / Real Alex Jones. You can sign up there, folks. It says, hey, Alex, my question is, do you think our military will stay in Haiti to take over the country? And my answer, that's a question to me, but I'll also ask it to Mike, is that the globalists have controlled Haiti for more than 50 years. Well, we had troops going there like, 100 years ago? Was it 1903? And then 1908? I mean, there's been so many invasions. That country's already run by the West. But certainly George Bush Sr. and Clinton and George W. Bush, you know, they've been caught promoting charities that keep the most of the money for themselves. Mike, what's your take on Haiti?
Well, definitely, Haiti is a source of rich mineral wealth, and my opinion is the United States government, rather than risk the return of Aristide, had a plan already in place to go into Haiti after the next natural disaster, like a hurricane.
We know they did. That came out the day before. They had a hurricane takeover drill.
And, yeah, absolutely. So when the quake happened, they just basically implemented the plan. They went in there. I mean, we were our troops were in Haiti in 2004 shooting the Haitian people. And so it's hardly surprising that the Haitians have been very uncomfortable with the return of the Americans. But it's very clear. I mean, for every dollar that the U.S. government claims they're spending on Haitian relief, only 1 penny actually gets to the Haitian people. The rest is going for all this military buildup and military hardware. They've cordoned off the area. They're in complete control of the airfields. From the people on the ground, it's kind of hard to say that this doesn't look like another invasion.
Mike, what do you think the timeline, another question, of the internet censorship is? Greetings from the Netherlands.
I think that the United Nations and the United States and certainly Israel are trying to figure out some way they can sell the necessity of internet censorship to the world. They want to keep that part of the internet that allows for government propaganda and the megaphonies to do what they're doing. Obviously, a lot of commerce currently depends on the internet.
Yeah, that's what the UN says. They're going to allow who they want to be on the web and shut everybody else off. They're actually now saying it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a reaction to the fact that we defeated them at Copenhagen. Up until
and
that
the
point,
swine flu, the internet exposed that. Now there's criminal investigations.
And, yeah, and so basically what they're finally waking up to is what you and I have known for the last 12, 14, 15 years. The government of the nation, the government of the world, as it sees itself, has lost the ability to successfully lie to the population and to be believed.
And they were full of hubris before, Mike. They were full of hubris before. We've always warned about the point when they finally figure out they're in trouble. That's when they're dangerous.
Yeah, and that we've reached that point. And all of this talk about internet censorship coming up now is a knee-jerk response to the fact that they didn't get their way at Copenhagen. Governments around the world, the U.S. government, the reason Obama is doing all this executive order stuff, the U.S. government actually counted on getting these carbon taxes to refill their coffers, and they didn't get it from Copenhagen, and that's when all of a sudden they started talking about executive orders.
And now Iceland's saying no to pay the bankers that robbed them. I mean, people are really waking up.
Yeah, and what they're waking up to is a very simple concept. We don't really have money in this country anymore. It's just pretty pieces of printed paper, and as long as we believe that that has worth, then we're basically going to fall into the trap that they've set for us, with this legalized counterfeiting ring. Now China is complaining that the gold bars coming out of Fort Knox are as fake as our quarters and dimes and our Federal Reserve notes. So this is a scandal that is really beginning to catch on. People are realizing there isn't really any money coming from the government. It's all this fake paper that we're supposed to believe has power over our lives. And they're beginning to say, I don't need this. I reject these Federal Reserve notes. I'm going to just do business with my neighbors for whatever we have that we agree is mutually valuable. And I think really we're thinking about getting back to the constitutional definition of money, where the money has intrinsic value so that you can depend on it and it cannot be manipulated by the government. And so, yeah, I think we're seeing a whole rejection of global banking, global reserve, the reserve banking system itself. People are waking up to the fact that by design, a reserve banking system means that more money is owed to the private bankers than is ever actually in existence.
And it's made up money. Shifting gears again, suddenly Michael Savage is coming out and saying Obama may stage terror attacks. Bloomberg, maybe a secret banking cabal does run the world after all. I mean, we are seeing just so much of this admitted. Perhaps the collapse of the globalists is even worse than we even realize. And perhaps the biggest stumbling block to this is that the Christian church, and I'm Christian, has accepted and bought into the fact that evil is a foregone conclusion. That, they thought Hitler was the Antichrist. They thought Stalin was the Antichrist. They thought Pol Pot was the Antichrist. The Tutsis being killed by the Hutus in Rwanda thought it was the end of the world. And that foregone conclusion idea that we're just supposed to give into the naked body scanners and give into the corruption. I mean, even if you believe that the Antichrist is coming and all this is true, what about Nineveh and the 100-year reprieve and Jonah? I mean, we have a responsibility to fight evil. And we're routing these people, but still most of the general public says, I'm Christian, it's the end of the world, and I'm going to sit here on my fat butt.
Yeah, that is definitely an aspect of our society that has been successfully exploited not only by our own government, but even by Israel, which is trying to convince American Christians that if they help Israel start World War III in the Middle East, that after it's all over, Jesus is going to come down and invite everybody up to the big house. And even Sarah Palin, the particular church she goes to, actually argues that its members should actively seek to bring about the end of the world in order to bring Jesus back for the second coming. Now, I don't care what reason they think they want to do it. I'm opposed to anybody who wants to blow up the planet for whatever reason. Now,
we got to keep her away from the nukes.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And the fact that they're saying she's the front runner for the GOP nomination in 2012, I think is very worrying, because Obama might actually be a one-term president, and things would definitely get worse with Caribou Barbie in the White House.
Well, we see them setting her up. First they built her up, destroyed her. I believe they're building her up to destroy her so Obama gets back in, and that's why they're selling her to all the Tea Parties. We do not want Sarah Palin. She was McCain's pick. I mean, come on, folks. What does that tell you about her?
Yeah, it absolutely. She's a manufactured candidate, and frankly, she does not impress me with her intelligence or her awareness of foreign policy issues. And it's a joke. It really is a joke of the American political system. But getting back to this issue about our future and fighting evil. Now, obviously, you and I have very different belief systems around, in terms of the universe. My personal opinion is heaven and hell is right here on earth, and it's what we choose to make of the world. And so I'm not going to just sit on my rear and wait for for my death to just figure out which way I'm going. If I want a heaven, I have to build it right here on earth, and that is my reason for opposing evil, for opposing nuclear war, for opposing the addiction of greed that infects the ruling classes of the entire planet. Everybody talks about globalism. Maybe we're on the verge of a global revolution where the people of every nation unite together and kick out the oligarchs universally all at the same time. That would be something to see.
All right, let's go to some phone calls here. Let's talk to Julio in Illinois. Julio, go ahead.